Have you ever woken up on the most important day of the week and felt terrible? Not just tired, actually sick. Your throat hurts, your nose is running, your head feels heavy, and somewhere in the back of your mind, you know today is the day you cannot afford to be sick. This happens, and when it does, you need to know how to talk about it in English. How do you describe how you feel to a doctor? How do you explain your symptoms? How do you understand what the doctor tells you? Hello, and welcome back to English Journey Studio. This is day 14 of your 30-day English journey. We are at the A2 level, building real vocabulary for real situations. Today, Sarah wakes up not feeling well on the exact morning she has been preparing for all week. She goes to a clinic, talks to a doctor, and learns some important words about health in English. Let's find out what happened. It is Thursday, 6:30 in the morning. Sarah's alarm went off, and she did not feel right. Her throat hurt. Not terribly, but enough to notice. She swallowed and felt a small, sharp pain at the back of her throat. To swallow means to move food or liquid from your mouth down through your throat. Normally, you never think about swallowing. When your throat hurts, you think about it every single time. She sat up slowly. Her head felt heavy. Not quite a headache, but a weight sitting just above her eyes. Her nose was already running. She got up, walked to the bathroom, and looked at herself in the mirror. Her eyes were slightly red. She looked the way people look when they haven't slept well, or when they are just beginning to get sick. She found a thermometer in the cabinet under the sink. She put it in her mouth and waited. 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit. That was a low fever. Not high, not dangerous, but not normal either. A fever is when your body temperature is higher than usual. The normal body temperature is around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 37 degrees Celsius. Above 100 degrees is usually considered a real fever. At 99.5, Sarah was right at the edge. She stood in the bathroom for a long moment. Today was Thursday. Her client presentation was at 10 in the morning, 3.5 hours from now. She could not cancel. She would not cancel. But she also could not walk into a professional meeting feeling like this without doing something first. She made a decision. She was going to the clinic. There was an urgent care clinic 2 blocks from her apartment. She had walked past it many times but had never been inside. An urgent care clinic is a medical center where you can see a doctor without making an appointment in advance. It is not a hospital emergency room. Urgent care is for problems that are not life-threatening but still need attention soon. A sore throat and a low fever, for example. Sarah put on her coat and walked down to the clinic at 7:15. The November air was cold and sharp. She pulled her scarf tighter and walked quickly. The waiting room was quiet. 2 other people were already there. An older man looking at his phone and a young woman who appeared to have a similar problem to Sarah. A waiting room is the room where patients sit before the doctor is ready to see them. Most clinics and doctors' offices have one. Sarah walked to the front desk. A receptionist, a young man with a calm, professional manner, looked up at her. "Good morning. How can I help you?" "Hi, I'm not feeling well," Sarah said. "I have a sore throat and a low fever. I was hoping to see a doctor before work this morning." A sore throat means your throat feels painful, especially when you swallow. Sore means painful or tender to the touch. "Of course," the receptionist said. "Do you have insurance?" She gave him her insurance card. He typed her information into the computer, handed her a short form to fill out, and said, "The doctor will see you in about 15 minutes." Sarah sat down in the waiting room. She did not take out her phone. She just sat quietly, breathed, and waited. After about 12 minutes, a nurse called her name. Sarah followed the nurse through a door and into a small examination room. An examination room is the room where the doctor sees patients. It usually has a padded bed covered with a strip of paper, a desk with a computer, and various medical instruments on the walls. The nurse took Sarah's temperature again and checked her blood pressure. She wrote everything down on a chart. "The doctor will be right with you," she said, and left. A few minutes later, the doctor entered. Her name was Dr. Rivera. She was in her 40s, with short, dark hair and a direct, warm manner. She shook Sarah's hand. "Good morning. I'm Dr. Rivera. What brings you in today?" "I woke up with a sore throat," Sarah said, "and a low fever, 99.5. My head feels heavy and my nose has been running since last night." "How long have you had these symptoms?" the doctor asked. "The sore throat started yesterday evening," Sarah said. "Everything else started this morning." Symptoms are the physical signs of an illness, the things you feel or notice that tell you something is wrong with your body. A sore throat is a symptom. A fever is a symptom. A runny nose is a symptom. Any cough? A little. Dry, not much. Difficulty breathing, chest pain? No. Nausea or stomach issues? No. Dr. Rivera nodded. "Okay, let me take a look." She examined Sarah carefully. She used a small penlight to look inside Sarah's throat. She checked both ears with a small instrument. She placed a stethoscope on Sarah's back and asked her to breathe slowly in and out. To examine means to look at something very carefully in order to understand it or to find out what is wrong. A doctor examines a patient. An engineer examines a bridge. A reader examines an argument. Dr. Rivera sat back and typed a few notes into her computer. "Your throat is slightly red, but there are no white spots," she said. "That's a good sign. It means this is most likely not strep throat." Strep throat is a bacterial infection of the throat, more serious than a regular sore throat, and it needs to be treated with antibiotics. White spots at the back of the throat are one sign of strep. Sarah didn't have them. "Your ears are clear. Your breathing sounds completely normal. Your temperature is low." The doctor looked at Sarah directly. "I think you have the beginning of a viral upper respiratory infection. In other words, a common cold." A viral infection is an illness caused by a virus. Viruses are microscopic, too small to see with the naked eye, and they spread easily from person to person. The common cold is caused by a virus, so is the flu. "Is there medicine for it?" Sarah asked. "Not a cure," Dr. Rivera said. "Viral infections don't respond to antibiotics, but there are over-the-counter medicines that treat the symptoms. They won't make the virus go away, but they will help you feel better while your body fights it." Over-the-counter means you can buy the medicine at a pharmacy without a prescription. A prescription is a written note from a doctor that allows you to purchase certain medicines. Strong antibiotics need a prescription. Cold medicine usually does not. "I have an important work presentation in about 2 hours," Sarah said. "Is it okay for me to go?" Dr. Rivera considered this for a moment. "You're not running a high fever. You're not dangerously sick. You can go." She held up one hand. "But after your presentation, you come straight home. Fluids, rest, sleep. No more running around in the cold." Sarah almost smiled. "Deal." Sarah left the clinic at 8:15. She stopped at the pharmacy next door and bought the medicine Dr. Rivera had recommended, a combination tablet for sore throat, congestion, and low fever. She also picked up a bottle of water and a small pack of honey lemon throat drops. To recommend means to suggest something as useful or good for a specific situation. The doctor recommended the medicine. A friend might recommend a restaurant. A teacher might recommend a book. She walked home, took the medicine with a full glass of water, and got dressed for the presentation. The amber and navy color palette was clear in her mind. She knew every slide, every word. At 9:45, she left her apartment. She had 2 throat drops in her coat pocket and her presentation saved on her laptop, on a USB drive, and in her email. She took the subway 2 stops south to Carroll Gardens, the neighborhood where the client's office was. The meeting lasted 1 hour. Sarah stood at the front of the room and presented her work. Her voice was slightly rough, she could hear it, but her ideas were clear, and the slides told the story exactly the way she had planned. The client, a small furniture company called Strand and Oak, was quiet for most of the presentation. They asked a few questions. Sarah answered them. Then, at the end, the owner leaned forward in his chair and said, "I think this is exactly what we needed." Sarah took the subway back home to Brooklyn. She let herself into her apartment, put her bag down on the floor by the door, and went directly to the kitchen. She filled the kettle and set it on the stove. Tea, hot tea with honey, and then rest. She carried her mug to the sofa, sat down, pulled a blanket over her legs, and closed her eyes. Outside, Brooklyn was gray and cold. Inside, the apartment was warm and quiet. She had done what she needed to do. Everything else could wait until tomorrow. Today was Thursday. Sarah woke up feeling sick on the morning of her most important presentation of the week. She went to an urgent care clinic, saw Dr. Rivera, and learned she had the beginning of a common cold. She took medicine, went to the presentation anyway, and did excellent work. Then she came home, made tea, and rested. Quick vocabulary review. Symptoms: the physical signs of an illness, the things you feel that tell you something is wrong. A sore throat, pain in the throat, especially when you swallow. A fever, a body temperature higher than normal, a sign that your body is fighting something. A runny nose, when liquid flows from your nose because you are sick. To swallow, to move food or liquid from your mouth down through the throat. An urgent care clinic, a medical center where you can see a doctor without an appointment for non-emergency issues. A waiting room, the room where patients sit before the doctor is ready for them. To examine, to look at something very carefully to understand it or find out what is wrong. A diagnosis, the identification of an illness after a doctor has examined a patient. A prescription, a written note from a doctor allowing you to purchase certain medicines. Over-the-counter, describes medicines you can buy at a pharmacy without a prescription. To recommend, to suggest something as useful or good for a particular situation. Feeling sick and speaking English at the same time is hard, but now you have the words you need. If you finish today's episode, type Day 14 done in the comments right now. It helps you track your progress, and I love reading your notes. Tomorrow is Day 15. Sarah goes shopping for clothes. We'll learn how to ask for your size, describe what you're looking for, and navigate a clothing store in English. Keep listening, keep learning. See you tomorrow.